My stepdad masturbated in front of me again. 2 nights ago, an incident happened. It was a normal night. My mom and stepdad were playing a board game, and my brother and I were actually getting along and watching TV. It was an overall nice atmosphere which doesn't seem to happen all too often anymore. My mom and stepdad had had some drinks, but I don't know how many. They didn't seem all that drunk, though, or at least I didn't think so. Eventually, my mom and stepdad got interested in what we were watching and decided to come sit in the living room with us. There are 3 different seats and a kind of view, facing the TV. Mom and stepdad sat on the couch across from me, and my brother sat on a recliner closer to them but angled a bit. After they sat down, it didn't take long for me to notice something. Similar to the previous incident with my stepdad, I looked over to see him touching what I think were his balls that were hanging out the bottom of his shorts. I looked away, and again, like last time, I tried to believe that I wasn't seeing what I was seeing. But I looked back, and that was definitely what he was doing. I kinda froze up again and just decided to get out. I ended up coming up with an excuse to leave the house, and I went and spent the night at my dad's house and hung out with my other brother. I went downstairs to get ready to leave, and then when I was ready, I went back upstairs and saw that he was still masturbating. I uncomfortably said bye to them, and I just remember his face. His eyes looked wide. I'd give it was shock or surprise or what, but it looked off. I'd how to explain it. The next day, I texted him. We talked a bit about what had happened, and I expressed my feelings on the situation. I had him tell my mom about it, but I don't feel any more safe. Some things he said and have said before almost make me think he's attracted to me one way or another. I always thought that those feelings were just me overreacting, but now I don't know. I feel scared of him. I haven't been able to look him in the face or even talk to him since then. He promised it would never happen again. He said he wanted to give me a reason to trust him. And he did it again after I told him how I was starting to have trouble trusting family and friends and that I felt like people wanted me in a way I don't want. I don't feel safe anywhere. I feel like no matter what I do or where I go, I'll never be safe. We are forced to live with foster kids and I'm starting to hate it. It feels like my mom favors them over us. My mom recently took in 2 young kids, 5 and 8, because their mom, my mom's friend, moved abroad for a job etc. and they are currently waiting to be reunited with her. Their mom also pays my mom to take care of them. It started off with them staying with us for a few weeks, but now it's going on to 2 to 3 months. I didn't mind it too much because my mom said that we won't have to worry about them and that they will be her responsibility. Through their habits we learned that they're pretty spoiled, they are addicted to sugar and they waste almost every meal and want every sugary treat they see. My mom enabled this because she didn't want them to feel uncomfortable with the changes. Over time, they started getting comfortable and misbehaving. They will wake up early in the morning between 6 to 7 a.m. to watch TV and talk extremely loud which wakes me up and upsets me because I work late shift. My parents are early birds so they don't see an issue and leave me to deal with them if I have a problem. At night, my mom will go to sleep early and then tell them to go sleep, around 9 p.m., and the 5-year-old will run around refusing to sleep and my mom will leave us to deal with him and if I'm up late at night from working late shift, she tries to tell me to put off all the lights and go to my room so that he can stay in bed. The 5-year-old has been difficult to handle and takes everything as a joke, so telling him off for digging through personal drawers, playing in my dad's office, pestering someone, fighting, getting into dangerous situations and demanding things, barely does anything. I've resorted to lying to him to get him to stop doing things because my mom doesn't allow us to really discipline him. When my mom isn't available, we have to keep an eye on them because if they hurt, then we're in deep trouble. Every day there are always plates of food being wasted and when we tell my mom, she will brush it off and let them do what they want because the food is coming from the paycheck she gets. I've honestly had enough. No matter how many times I complain, my parents literally do not care and my mom reminds me that she's getting paid from this and we need the money. My little brother, 10, has also been getting frustrated because he has to constantly entertain them and they pester him when he's tired. He gets upset and has started calling them names when a fight breaks out and my mom will single out my brother and tell him off. I don't mind these kids sometimes, but we literally had no say in this and now we're being forced to deal with the issues while my mom favors them and treats them like royalty because she feels sorry for them and also gets paid. Like, talk about sacrificing the well-being of your own children over money. Come on. XGF wants to place our baby for adoption, not sure that I can. I'm 23. My ex-girlfriend is 20. We met in college. I've since graduated but she has 2 years left. She's 21 weeks pregnant and wants to put the baby up for adoption. She was around 14 weeks pregnant when she told me she was pregnant. We had already broken up 2 months before that and I honestly had no idea she was pregnant. She said she needed space to make her own decision and that's why she didn't tell me. From the moment she told me she was pregnant I told her I would support whatever decision she made. I respect that it's her decision. I believe in a woman's right to choose and all that. I feel guilty that I got her pregnant. I'm internally panicking at the idea of a baby, and the idea of being a father is wild and unreal to me right now. But when she told me she was planning to put the baby up for adoption, it felt like a gut punch. She's already connected with an adoption agency and looking at possible adoptive families. In no way do I think she should be forced to be a parent. I would never want to contribute to that. I completely understand her reasoning. It's just making me feel sick. She seems as content as she can be with the decision. She knows this is the right decision for her. I don't know if I can consent to it. I've started researching contested adoptions. I think it's sort of crazy, and I'd have to be willing and prepared to completely support and parent the baby on my own and be able to prove it. I feel guilty thinking about coming in and ruining all of her plans. Maybe it wouldn't be fair to anyone for me to do that, but I'm becoming more uncomfortable with the idea of adoption every day. I've not told her how I feel because I know it took her a while to come to her decision, and even though she feels it's the right one, it's also a highly emotional thing for her. I spend a lot of time trying to rationalize why adoption is the best thing for everyone. I lost attraction to a woman because she smelled like poop during sex, and now she's angry at me. We were hooking up doggy style when I noticed the backshot air literally stunk like shit. I ain't even joking, that shit factory reset me and I coulda swore my body took a screenshot. Immediately turned off. I found myself thinking the next day that I don't want to sleep with this person anymore. I find a lack of hygiene to be inconsiderate and even a little disrespectful to partners, especially when it's noticeable during intimacy like kissing or sex. I tried to be mature and have the conversation in person, but even then I knew she would take it pretty bad. She spirals down into very negative thoughts about herself, and I didn't want her to think there was anything wrong with her as a person, so I tried to bring her down slowly. When the morning rolled around, she made a joke about me going to work and basically ended it with "You'll provide for us, baby," which I just had to shut down. I was already trying to figure out what I was gonna say, but that kinda kicked me in the ass and made me realize that she has far deeper feelings and intentions for me than she initially displayed. I told her that while I think she's a great person, I don't think we should continue seeing each other or hooking up anymore. She immediately spiraled and I went into repair mode. I tried to minimize damage by blaming myself. In short, I basically gave her the "it's not you, it's me" cliché, and it kinda worked too well because she exploded on me a couple of days later in my Instagram messages. It was then she accused me of only dating the wrong people so that I could have a pedestal to put myself on. She said that she was the best option for me and that I'm stupid for not wanting to be with her. She accused me of chasing dysfunction because it's the only way for me to appear good or functional by comparison. That actually pissed me the hell off, but I still bit my tongue. I wanted to tell her really bad that I really just called things off because she smelled like unwiped, marinated swamp ass and expected me to fuck her. I, 40F, finally tried anal and discovered I'm really into it. There's no one in my personal life I can say this to, so I'm shouting it out loud here. I successfully tried anal sex for the first time at 40 years/0, and it was a total game changer for me. Less than a handful of times in the last 25 years the subject of trying it has come up, but I never could take more than the tip before saying stop. The Hubs and I found a strain of marijuana at a dispensary in our home state a few months ago that makes us both insanely horny. We asked for something mellow. That's not what we received, but we aren't complaining. A few hits leads to a 2 to 3 hour sexcapade. He can last forever and we both feel every sensation x 100. It's caused both of us to get out of our heads, relax, and be open to trying new things. No more vanilla sex for us. Since the first night we got high and got frisky, I suddenly was consumed with thoughts of him wanting to play with my asshole. I didn't say anything at first, but the more and more we experimented the closer we got. I finally told him I think I might be very interested in anal play and wanted to try it in various ways, and oh my god did he deliver. He let me control insertion, so I could go as slow as necessary to stretch, relax, and get comfortable before he took over, and then it was balls deep pounding and I could not get enough of it. Holy shit. Incredible. I cannot believe I've been missing out on this all of my adult life. We did it 2 nights in a row and I want more. It's all I can think about. I used to think assholes were so gross, and now I think they are marvelous. I'm going to try to talk him into letting me play with his too. I'm hoping he can experience what I feel. Can't believe a sexual revolution is hitting our 20-year marriage in our 40s, but I'm loving it. Thanks, legal recreational marijuana, and especially the young bud tender dude who clearly saw us coming and knew what his was doing when he recommended this particular mellow strain.